So me and the boys, this is hilarious. So me and the boys, a Yu-Gi-Oh secret lair. Yep, we decided to build a Yu-Gi-Oh secret lair. This was... I don't know why we did it. Let's get into the cards. Well, I can't see any of the cards. I'm just gonna remember what we made. So we have Dark Magician. The Dark Magician deck. Well, see, Dark Magician is just a vanilla creature. It'd be really bad if we just made a vanilla creature in Magic the Gathering, so we didn't do that. Instead, we went by what does the deck do. So Dark Magician, the deck has a lot of mechanics using spell counters, and Dark Magician has an attack called Dark Magic Attack, where it destroys your opponent's spells. So that's what we did in Magic. We've got it where when your wizards deal damage to people, you get spell counters, and then you can remove 2 spell counters and exile a card from your graveyard, and up to 1 target spell that shares a card type with the card you exiled. For Blue Eyes White Dragon, again, it'd be a vanilla creature, which would be really bad. It's more about what the deck does, and it cares around playing with humans in Yu-Gi-Oh! So we kind of expanded on that idea. And we've got that ability there, Tribute Summon, where you tap a couple of non-token humans, and you get another Blue Eyes token. And then when you got 3 of them, you can actually make the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon as well. So we did that on the back, which went purple, because it's kind of like how Yu-Gi-Oh cards are purple when they combine. And yeah, we made that an absolute titan with Neutron Blast, which is the attack name for Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. But as you can see, a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards is very generic. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon doesn't do anything, no effect. Red Eyes Black Dragon is like my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card. And again, just a vanilla dragon. It's just a worse clone of Blue Eyes. But in the deck, it goes around like reviving dragons from the graveyard, equipping things to them. So it's got that kind of line of play. And we kind of did that as well when we made our Red Eyes, where you equip something to it, it gets a buff, it gets some shroud, and you can sacrifice the equipment to return dragon creature cards from your graveyard. I think it'll be a very strong deck. It's got some flavor in there, you know, and it looks more like a Magic the Gathering card now. Exodia, it's a card where you get 5 pieces in your hand and you win the game. And that would be kind of bad, I think. So we changed it a little bit. Now, when you play Exodia, you're kind of always looking to dig through the deck to get the pieces. So we kind of did a similar thing. This Exodia attacks, has indestructible when it attacks, it's a 5/5. And you basically draw 2, discard a card, and rummage through until you get all the cards that you need for its Obliterate ability, which will deal 99 damage to an opponent. Next we have the God cards. So all 3 of the Egyptian God cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically they had like the 3 tributes to play them, so they're very expensive to play for Yu-Gi-Oh! And also they can't be counted. So it's going to be on all the cards, it's going to be expensive and can't be counted. We'll start off with Ra, since that's supposed to be like in the hierarchy, I think that's the most top one, like the protector. So we made Ra. And in Yu-Gi-Oh! What Ra does, it's a creature that comes out as a 0/0, and you can pay almost all your life into it, and it will become that big. So and then its other ability was you can pay your life to destroy things. So we went to Magic the Gathering, of course we made this white, and we had it, you exchange your life total with it if you want, and also you can pay life to exile things, a bit more white. Obviously we tried to stick them to like the colors that they are, so Ra's white, Obelisk will be blue, and its life will be red. Next we'll take a look at Obelisk. So in Yu-Gi-Oh! What Obelisk the Tormentor does is he's a beefcake, he's got really, really big stats. He also can't be targeted by anything, or he's unaffected, something like that. So he's got his own form of hexproof. And he's also got an ability where you sacrifice 2 of your creatures, destroy all your opponent's creatures, and he can't attack in that same turn. So when we went to Magic the Gathering, well, we kept it all pretty similar. We didn't want to give a repeatable board wipe hexproof because we thought that would be a little bit too cancer. But we did want to honor that he should have. We gave him Shroud instead, so now you can't target him either. But he only gets it when he's tapped, and he's got a tap ability where he taps, sacrifice 2 non-token creatures, and then you board wipe your opponents. And obviously you can't attack in the same turn because you have to tap him to do that. And then lastly we have Slide for the Sky Dragon. It has attack equal to the number of cards in your hand times 1000. And we thought that would be very difficult because red doesn't work that way. Red's got similar cards where you have like a 7/7, and it has a -1/-1 on it for each card in your hand. But we just didn't really feel like that suited it, you know? So instead, we went with it has attack equal to the number of cards in the hand of the opponent with the most cards in hand, which is something that's already on another red legendary creature that doesn't really get played, and it's such a good way of honoring that ability. The other thing that Slifer the Sky Dragon does, aside from being that absolute beefcake, is whenever like your opponent plays a monster, it loses 2,000 attack points, and if its attack points go to 0 from that, then it gets destroyed. Magic, we already have something very similar to that, so we just went ahead and went with whenever a creature enters under an opponent's control, Slifer deals 4 damage to it. It's a very red ability, it's already on a lot of cards, and it does the same thing. So next we've got Dark Magician Girl, and that's obviously a big fan favorite. Dark Magician Girl in Yu-Gi-Oh! Gets like 300 attack points for each Dark Magician in your graveyard, and that's very bad, and it's also that's not a very good ability, and also only works with like one other card. So we went with, it gets a different ability where I believe it says whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, you mill 3 cards, and then all your wizards will get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of wizard cards in your graveyard. So it works now as a big buff for all your wizards, but only does it when you cast an instant or sorcery, and it's got a way of milling as well. So now it works really well with the actual Dark Magician. Well, we've got Flame Swordsman next, and that's just a mono red, please equip me kind of card with Salamander Slash, which is the spirit that's possessing your sword. So that has got like whenever you attack, it deals 3 times X damage to any target, where X is the number of equipments attached to it, so they'll just combust into fire and, you know, attack something basically. We also did Harpy Lady, because in Yu-Gi-Oh! Harpy Lady was a creature, and it would bring out more Harpy Ladies through a spell card called Elegant Egotist, and they all kind of like buff each other, and that's how the general strategy works. So what we went with in Magic the Gathering was a 4-mana 1/1 with flying, and I think it has something like whenever it attacks, whenever harpies attack, or it's like whenever you attack with 1 or more harpies, you put that many 1/1 counters on it, then you create that many harpy tokens. So it's kind of like a weird Krenko effect where it just expands and gets counters on it. So Kisara is next. This is actually one of the humans that gets played in the Blue Eyes deck, in the Blue Eyes strategy. And we just wanted to make another blue-white card. So we have Kisara. That is Maiden with Eyes of Blue in Yu-Gi-Oh! And she's a really weird card basically. Whenever she gets targeted by things, you like do some weird graveyard shenanigans and you cheat out a Blue Eyes White Dragon. So we want to do something with people like playing things and you getting Blue Eyes. So we kind of did that. So it's got like whenever you draw a 2nd card each turn, you can create the egg, which is pretty nice already. You create the 0/1s with Defender. And then it's like whenever your opponent casts an instant sorcery spell, you can pay a blue and a white, and then turn it into a Blue Eyes White Dragon. We also made, this is probably one of my favorite cards, is the Pot of Greed. Now, Pot of Greed in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's you draw 2 cards, and for free, just drawing 2 cards is insane. If you want to transfer into Magic, it would just be a 3-mana blue card that's draw 2 cards, which is not very fun. So we made it colorless, so everyone can play it, and it's all players draw 2 cards, which is way more balanced, but it'd still be very, very strong, and I don't think it should exist, but it would be a lot more balanced. So that was a great idea, and it made it really fun. Just boom, everyone draws 2. We also did Swords of Revealing Light. This was a card that we struggled a little bit on how to balance it properly. So what it does in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is you play it, it stays in the field for 3 turns, like a Saga, and then after 3 turns, it goes away. But when it's on the field, your opponent can't attack you. So it's 3 whole turns if you can't attack me. We thought that would be a bit strong. Naturally, this is a white card because white already has, someone loses their battle phase in it. And we made it a 3-mana Saga. Each chapter of the Saga is just target opponent loses their next combat phase. And if you have less than 2 opponents, each chapter of it is just target opponent loses their next combat phase. And then you have to sacrifice it unless you have more than 2 opponents. No. Each chapter of it is target opponent loses their next combat phase, and then sacrifice it unless you have 2 or more opponents. This is so in a 1v1, it's not 3 mana, you can't attack me for 3 turns. But in a big commander game, you just take away a turn, a combat phase from, someone. And we can make it even weaker, but honestly, Sometimes white just prints straight up bullshit. There's also Blackluster Soldier. Now that is such a badass card, so I really want to make this one super cool. So Blackluster Soldier in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's an equivalent power to Blue Eyes, which is like the strongest thing you can have. We want to make it really strong and epic, and he's a knight that gets cursed by chaos magic or whatever it is called. And he becomes Blackluster Soldier, which is way stronger and more cursed. And to summon him, you have to play a spell card first, and then discard cards from your hand or field with the correct amount of stars on them. So what we went with is, instead of making a spell card you play to do that to summon a token, we just went with a card that transforms, so you could also play it as a commander, theoretically. And yep, so it's a 1/4 defender and wither, you know, really the neg1 counter thing kind of amplifies the idea of it being cursed. And it's a shrine. Then it has, you can pay a black and a blue. You exile a blue card and a black card from either your hand and or battlefield. And then you transform it. And it transforms into Blackluster Soldier Dark Remade, which is a 6/6 with First Strike and Wither, which is an absurd combo. It also transforms with a shield counter on it. And it has the line of text, all creatures able to block Blackluster Soldier do so. So it's like a really cool, really powerful card. But you have to commit a lot of resources into getting it. Now, are there any others? Might just go and take a look. That was all the cards that I had to show. The files, in case you want to print these and play with them, will be somewhere in our Discord. So you can join the Discord and get the files. They're going to be absolutely free. I kind of would like to sell them, but I don't really want to, you know, get a copyright fine for $300,000. So yeah, we're just going to leave that and make it free for anyone who wants it. And yeah, maybe you can play around with it. And if this video does well, then me and the boys, we will make commander decks using these cards, and then we'll play it and put that on the internet.